Now, there have been security issues in Paris this morning. Arsonists have carried out attacks on France's train system, causing disruption ahead of tonight's opening ceremony. We can head to France now, and our senior reporter, Geraint Hughes. We had been hoping to be building up to the opening ceremony and all the excitement that goes along with that, but unfortunately, we're discussing the seriousness of some disruptions just hours before all this is happening. Just how serious is this that we've learned this morning?
It's being described as a massive attack upon the French national rail network. That's by the head of that company, SNCF. It's also being described now as well by the French Prime Minister, Gabriel Attal, as an act of sabotage carried out in a prepared and coordinated manner. So they're not mincing their words in terms of the significance and the seriousness of this attack upon the rail network in France. Just to bring people up to speed, exactly what we understand has happened thus far is that earlier this morning, a number of arson incidents on the French rail network, fire, satellite, which have damaged electricity cables and overhead power lines. So it is completely thrown into chaos the French high-speed rail network, the TGV. To cities in the north, such as Lille, to the east, Strasbourg, to the west, down to Bordeaux, and the Atlantic line further down to the south of France as well. It has also affected Eurostar services coming from London St Pancras through the Channel Tunnel, because that train line uses the French high-speed network. In the last, about an hour ago, when I last spoke to you, we were reporting just a couple of cancellation and delays. Eurostar have now somewhat changed their advice to passengers, is to not travel if they absolutely do not have to postpone their journey to another day, given the disruption upon the rail network here in France and the impact that is having on Eurostar services. We know of 3 services from London St Pancras that have now been cancelled. Numerous others are delayed, and probably I think we can safely say where this is going. It is only going to get a little bit more complicated and worse in terms of the impact upon passengers before it will get better. It's a highly fluid situation here, but it's being described as a massive attack upon the French rail network, and as I say, the French government, through the Prime Minister Gabriel Attal, describing it as an act of sabotage, and they will leave no stone unturned to find those who have undertaken this attack, as he say, on the day of the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Prior to that statement from the French Prime Minister, my colleagues at Sky News have managed to catch up with the French Sports Minister, Amélie Oudéa-Castéra. This is what she has updated us on what has happened so far today.
Well, I condemn them, extremely strongly. It's just unacceptable. It's probably a large-scale sabotage with some malicious acts probably coordinating. We're still in the process of analyzing all the impacts, assessing what we're going to implement as solutions, because it's going to have impacts also over the weekend. And we want this not to jeopardize the quality of the experience for the athletes and for the spectators. So it's a huge work in terms of crisis management, but we were prepared for that. We had prepared for all scenarios. SNCF, the operator for the high-speed lines, the Ministry of Transport, together with the region, who is in charge of a number of transport lines as well and stations. We are all together as a team, united to find the right solutions and be very, very fast back on our feet.
Are you worried that this is the act of Russia or a malicious actor or terrorist group?
I cannot say at this hour. Maybe can be also protesters, even French people. Clearly what I want to say is that people doing that, they're really playing against the side of the athletes who have been working so hard.
And unfortunately, though, Geraint, security was always the number one concern, wasn't it, ahead of these games, and they're really having to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, not just saying this today, but pretty much since Paris was awarded the Games 7 years ago, and certainly over the course of the last 18 months or so ago, security was the #1 issue surrounding these Games. They have such an ambitious idea for the opening ceremony, which is a security headache. It has actually been scaled down from the original plans because the security authorities said it was not feasible. Just to again remind people, it is not an opening ceremony in a stadium. It is along a 6-kilometre stretch of the River Seine this evening, starting at 6:30 your time. 100 boats and barges with all the athletes from all the countries competing here at Paris 2024, concluding at the base of the Eiffel Tower and then moving up to the Trocadero, which lies on the opposite bank of the River Seine. That is a security headache. There are 45,000 security personnel on duty in Paris today. On top of that, 85 nations, other nations, are helping France with their intelligence operations, and they are on the ground here in Paris as well. So there are discussions going on right now within Paris 2024 organisers. They cancelled a press conference about an hour and a half ago where they were meant to be talking and updating us on plans for the opening ceremony, etc. That has been cancelled. And obviously we've been having these updates now from government ministers and the Prime Minister themselves as well. So there is some degree of fluidity and flux upon it, but I think there will be some questions being asked about how this attack they've said it's coordinated. How they did not know about it was, especially as they would have been targeting intelligence sources. The concern when I spoke with a security analyst earlier in this week, the one thing, you can never guarantee safety, and Paris 2024 admitted that in an interview with Sky Sports News back in March as well. However, on issues where groups were becoming together and coordinated attacks, they hoped that their intelligence they would be able to prevent these things, but today they haven't, and it's causing absolute widespread chaos. Of course, there is impact upon the Games because it is happening on the day of the opening ceremony. But just to reiterate as well, 800,000 people are being affected by this. Paris, France, they go on holiday at the end of July and August. It is a huge tradition that the country has a break. People go away, they leave Paris, they go to the coasts and the north, the west and the south as well. You've got people that are trying to get away from Paris to have their summer breaks. Along with that, hundreds of thousands of people coming in from Northern Europe in terms of the UK through the Channel Tunnel, Belgium, Netherlands and Germany as well. So it's actually at the moment probably having far more impact on those people who are trying to have, begin their summer holidays, begin their summer breaks from which other country they're having at the moment rather than the Olympics. But it has certainly been a day to remember and a fluid day, and we'll be bringing you updates as we get them because just to bring you the latest on the Eurostar, their advice for anybody who is travelling today is if you can, think about postponing your journey and travel another day due to the travel disruption upon the high-speed network within France.